Lori Bell Nyman, and our center is called the Psychic Horizon Center. And we're really set up for beginners all the way through advanced. But it's great to have a safe place when you're just working psychically that you can work from. So we kind of think of ourselves as a psychic kindergarten, and then we go up through graduate classes, but it's nice to have a beginning level. And so we're going to work on 2 levels this month. One is with a healing master, and one is with a psychic surgeon. And you put one in one hand and one in the other. And we'll get to that. Why would a spirit want to work with you as a healing master? When you're between your lifetimes, you're in an energetic body, and you don't have the ability to blow pictures or release concepts as much as you do when you're in the physical body. And what I mean by that is, if you look at some of the things you believed in your 20s, maybe now you're 10 or 20 years older or more, we won't count, you've changed a lot of the concepts that you grew up with. And you change through reality and your life experience. And so as you change, you blow pictures. And it just means you release the old energy and you step into a new vibration. So would everybody agree that they've changed since they were a teenager? Good thing, huh? Oh yeah. So most of us have expanded our awareness, and we have a lot more freedom to be in our body. So you're releasing old energy that doesn't work for you. A lot of it is emotional pain. Some of it is neutral, but a lot of it is stuff that you've outgrown or doesn't serve you anymore. So when we start to heal ourselves, sometimes it's nice to work with a spirit guide who's neutral, because from the other side, you have this huge view. It's kind of like picking up a novel, and when you first start it, you get this sense of who the character is, but by the end of the book, you have this complete awareness. It's like, oh, now I understand why this character responded the way he did in the book. So it's born out of that awareness. And we're going to do the same thing. When we work with a spirit guide, they have a larger sense of awareness than we do because they're outside a body. So they're looking at that human form and remembering what it's like to be in one, but they're outside it, so they have much more awareness. We don't give up our seniority because we're the ones with the body, right? You worked hard to get this body, and you don't want to give it away, but you want to work in tandem with them. So they bring a lot of awareness, and so do you. So some of these beings are usually from another lifetime that you've known them. And beings kind of appear in 3 forms. One is kind of like a little orb. So it may, in a photograph, you may see like a little round circle of light. That's one way a being can show up. Another way, anybody see the movie Cocoon? Great movie. If you haven't seen it, rent it. It's really old, but in one of the little women unzips and comes out in this little light body, kind of look like Casper the Friendly Ghost. It's, flexible, and it moves around, and it has kind of a gingerbread effect. It doesn't have formed like hands, but it's a light body. And the third way a spirit presents itself is usually the last lifetime you had with it. So it's trying to jog your memory. One of my friends had an Eskimo who was her spirit guide. Another one, I have a Maasai warrior from India, from Africa. That was one of my lifetimes there, one of my favorite countries. And so he shows up and I work with him. And so he looks like a Maasai warrior. So it may be somebody who comes in that form that you've known them before in another life. So it might be Native American, it could be somebody who's just in a robe. So you'll see, and I call that a valence. They have a particular way they look in order for you to remember them. So however you experience energy is how you're going to see them. And if you don't see clairvoyantly, lots of times people just know. They know energy's there. So we're going to work with it on many different levels. So take a deep breath. I know some of you haven't done any energy work before, and that's okay. You get to be a beginner here, and it's a great place to be. And we start every class the same way. We kind of ground and we get in our bodies because it increases our awareness, and then we do the actual work. So let's start by just taking a deep breath and letting your attention be right on the very base of your spine. And just as easily as you find that point, look down and find the very center of the earth. And let those 2 points be connected. And you can imagine sitting like on the trunk of a tree trunk that's been cut, and the roots grow all the way down into the center of the earth. Or there could be a big pipe that you're sitting on where the energy just flows down. Could be a big anchor and chain. Energy isn't fussy. And expand that grounding cord, that energy connection, till it's as big around as your hips. And then take 3 deep breaths. It kind of signals to the body you're turning off the world and you're going inward inside yourself. Excellent. And you yourself are a spirit that lives inside this body. And the spirit part of you is eternal, it's immortal. Where these bodies come and go, but that spirit part of you lives on. And there's many kinds of healings. We're going to learn just some practical ways of using healing and working on ourselves. And just kind of take a deep breath. You can rub your feet on the ground. And imagine some energy from deep in the earth coming up through the arches in the feet, up through the legs, into the knees, through the thighs, and straight down that grounding cord. And that earth energy is just going to help you anchor and be present. You might feel something in your legs, you might not. Energy is very much like water or electricity. Once you turn on the flow, it just keeps going until you turn it off. So there's no effort in making it happen. And then just as easily, let it start to run down the back of your head, just like you're standing under a shower, all the way down on either side of the spine. When it gets to the very base of your spine, let it turn and make a U-turn and come up inside the front of the body. When it gets to the top of your head, it's going to go up about 2 feet, like in a big whale spout, and flow down through your aura. All 7 layers of your aura. Just letting it cascade through you. And also some will come down the arms and out the hands. And again, just get a sense of how that feels to you. You might experience your body getting quieter. It might be slowing down a bit. And as you turn off the world and go inside yourself, this is where you discover your own truth and find your own answers. And everything you need for this lifetime is inside you. So it's just getting quiet so you can listen. And as you're sitting there, you can imagine outside your aura is about an arm's length around, all the way around your body. And if you take that piece of paper or that Kleenex, whatever you found, and put it about a foot in front of you on the other side of your aura. And just put it down. And breathe. And we're going to ask a spirit guide to come in a minute and land on that landing pad. But before we do, I want you to kind of take your hand and feel where you put that paper, that object, and just feel that nothing's there. I like to make it real. I'm part scientist and part spirit. So it's kind of fun to make it real to yourself. So as you pass your hand over that piece of paper, that landing pad, there's no energy. Now we're going to ask this spirit guide, someone that you've known before, that's safe for you to work with, to come and just stand, put their energy on that landing pad. They're outside your space. And then take your hand and feel again. And just get a sense of them. Are they tall? Are they short? Does it feel warm? Does it feel cool? Just get a sense of what it feels like. Sometimes you'll feel it more when they leave. Sometimes you'll feel it more when they come in. But send a hello, just like you would greet a friend. Just say hello. I'm just meeting you. It's nice to meet you again in spirit. And we kind of have a little guideline, kind of like the rules of working with a spirit guide. And that's that they stay out of your space at all times, because that's your space. And the second one is that they plug in only to the back of your hands. So they're not going to take over your body. They're just going to plug in your hands. And the third is that they disconnect when the healing is over and go back to the spirit realm, whether you remember to tell them or not. So just let them know those are the rules. if they want to work with you. They stay out of your space, they plug only in your hands, and they leave totally from your space once the healing is over. And then go ahead and give them permission to plug in the back of each hand. And then we're going to work with them. We're going to give them little commands of things they can do. So ask them to strengthen your grounding cord. And then ask them to go and clean out the inside of your aura. And just sit there with your hands comfortably on your lap and let them do the work. You might feel them lightly working around you. You might not feel them at all. Again, breathe. And sometimes when they're cleaning out their aura, your aura, they might find a little rip in it or a little tear. And that's okay. Just ask them to fix it. And you can send them and have them work on the back channels where that energy comes down, flows down your back. And just have them very gently move any blocks, any stuck energy in those back channels, and just see what that feels like. Kind of a before and after. Letting them just slide down the whole back. And then right up the front, those channels in the front. And you can imagine what that would look like in your mind. Sometimes people see it, sometimes people just know it. Sometimes they feel it. And just kind of see how you respond. There is no right way. And then have them clean out your arm channels all the way down and out your hands. This is how you express your creativity. So you can kind of sit with your palms up. Letting them clean out your creative abilities. Makes it easier for you to manifest what you want to draw to yourself in your life. And then let them clean out the leg channels, starting with your feet, moving up your calves to your knees, through the knees, into the thighs, and then straight down that grounding cord. Just letting that energy flow and just becoming more aware. This is you. Your energy flowing through you as a spirit, a being. Sometimes when you're releasing energy, you might feel a yawn come. Yawning's a great way to let go of energy. Sometimes my voice might feel far away. You get in really deep. And then you can ask your healing guide for one personal thing you'd like a healing on. Maybe you have a gallbladder that's giving you a problem, or your digestion, or a knee. Maybe you're feeling sad or rushed. Just ask them for one personal thing that you'd like a little tune up on. And then just sit back and watch and feel what happens. No effort. And then last but not least, you're going to ask that healing master to create a huge gold sun above your head, about twice as big as your body and your aura. And once you take energy out that you no longer need, you want to fill in with something that you're ready for in your life. So think of one or two things. Might be having a more peaceful life, might be more humor, could be something physical, more money, a new car, whatever it is that you need or want. Have them put the energy of it up in that gold sun and pop it and let it flow down and fill up every cell in your body. Excellent. And then kind of check in one more time. How do you feel now versus when you started tonight? Can you feel a difference? Where you are is in your own energy space, just like coming home to you. And then ask that healing master, you can thank them for working on you, and have them disconnect from your hands and see if you can feel a difference in your hands. And then ask them to move all the way back out of your space. And before they leave, ask them for their name. And if they give you a long spiritual name, find a nickname that you can remember so that when you work with them this week, you can call them in by name. Then again, thank them one more time and send them all the way out to the spiritual realm. And take a deep breath. And you can stretch, kind of open your eyes, come back to yourself, look around, and just see how you feel. You might feel a little lighter. It's kind of fun to feel that energy. I always feel it in my hands. They kind of tingle. So when that guide comes in and he's just plugging in the back of my hands, I can feel the vibration go up in my hands. And when they disconnect, I just feel that tingling stop. So you may feel it as a warmth. You may feel it as a coolness. Energy's energy. And we all feel it a little bit different. Okay, nice deep breath. Woohoo, we're just getting going. We're going to work with a psychic surgeon as well. And we'll do that, and then I'll turn off the tape and we'll go for questions. So just give that body one more stretch. And we're going to go back in just like we did before. So we can put our attention on that grounding cord, that energy connection from the base of your spine to the very center of the earth. And a psychic surgeon does a little bit different job than a healing master. The healing master works on the energy around you. The psychic surgeon works on you on a physical level. It's a cellular healing. And they usually work in tandem together. So I usually put, this is just me, my healing master in my left hand and my psychic surgeon in my right hand. And I use them together as a pair. Right now, we're just going to bring in the psychic surgeon. So we're just going to put them in our right hand. And a psychic surgeon, again, is going to work on just the physical body. So they go in, and I'll kind of describe it to you. Say you wanted to work on your heart. If you imagine like grid paper, all the way back to that ancient math we took, little tiny squares in a grid. So if you had a piece of grid paper over top of that heart, you could see every little square of that heart. And say it all showed up as red. And then there were maybe 10 squares that had dark blue in them. That would be the foreign energy, because energy that isn't yours is heavier. Your own energy is very light and very fluid. So when something is opaque or muddied or stuck, it turns a darker color. So you would say to your psychic surgeon, oh, I see my heart. And that psychic surgeon would go in and remove those squares or blocks of stuck energy, taking the navy blue out and restoring that vibrant red to your heart. So when we work on the body, you might look and see what you see. And you can direct the psychic surgeon, or you can just tell them, hey, have at, because they see it too. So again, we're just going to practice. We're just having a good time learning about our bodies and our energy. So let's ground again. You can have that energy come up through the arches in your feet, through your legs, back down that grounding cord. You can have the cosmic energy from deep in space flow down the back of your head, down your spine. Make that U-turn and come up inside the body, all the way up, making that whale spout. And also coming down the arms and out the hands. You still have that landing pad there. Your aura is still an arm's length away in front of you. And ask that psychic surgeon, whole different guy or girl, to come in and stand right on that landing pad. And a psychic surgeon usually has a lot of medical information. So they've been doctors or nurses or healers of some sort in their lifetimes. So just ask them to stand on that landing pad. You can ask their name. You can even ask if they have a specialty. What do they specialize in when working on a body? And if you have a physical ailment, you can ask that spirit if it has information on healing that. And again, we have the same agreements with the psychic surgeon that we had with the healing master. You're in charge, so they don't get in your space. They plug only in your hands and they leave when you're done. And just see if they're in agreement to that. And go ahead and then ask them to come in and plug in your right hand. To me, they have a higher vibration than the healing master because they work in between with the energy in between cells. So just be aware of how your right hand feels. And just taking that right hand, and it can lay gently in your lap, and ask that psychic surgeon to give your brain a little healing. Hey, might as well start at the top. Just so that you can think clearer. Just letting the two hemispheres of the brain come in harmony. Taking out any foreign energy that makes it hard for you to think. Just letting them give that brain a little healing. And then ask them to clean out your blood. Just cleaning out any thoughts of diseases, any foreign energy, any toxins. And again, just sit back and relax and kind of tune in and see if you notice any difference. Sometimes you'll feel it, sometimes you won't. Okay, now we're going to get tricky. While that psychic surgeon is finishing your blood, go ahead and have your healing master come in as well, and he's going to be in your left hand, he or she. So now we're going to have two in our hands, one in the left, one in the right. And this is how they work together. We're going to ask the healing master to clean out the energy in your eyes. If you look at the optic nerve, it's right on the back of the eyeball and it goes back to the brain. There's little tiny black dots on it, and those are pain pictures. It's like where it's hard to see emotional pain in yourself or others. They form little dots and it makes it harder to see visually. So we're going to ask the healing master to clear the energy on that optic nerve and the psychic surgeon to actually go in and repair that nerve and enhance the healing and the seeing ability in your eyes. So you're just going to sit there with both hands relaxed on your lap. And just allow these two beings to work on you. The healing master always does the energy, and the psychic surgeon always works on your physical body. The eyes are one of the easiest things to heal. And take a deep breath. And then just as we did before, we're going to ask these two spirit beings to bring in that huge gold sun again, full of brand new energy, filling up those optic nerves and your eyes, restoring your eyes to good health. Thank them for working with you and let them know we're going to be working with them every week this month, every Saturday night. And you can ask them to each unplug from your hands and see if you can feel that as they come out. And then again, you can have them step back out into the spirit world. Just leaving you with your own space. And again, you can stretch and come out of that light trance. Open your eyes and look around. It might look a little different. Yeah, you can try them glasses on and glasses off. That's a great thing. Yeah. I know I kind of worked you quick through there because we had a lot to cover.